So New South Wales have their best bowlers on. Abbott and Copeland. It's going to be Abbott to start this over. And Many just avoiding the shortish one.
And I'll tell you what, if this was a grand final, if this was a final, you just sense that Hazelwood and Cummins, who aren't over with the Australian side, just coming back from injury and are pretty much right to go. I believe they played a second 11 futures game recently, so they're right to play. They would have played in this game if it was a final. And wouldn't they be hard to face right now? Cummins and Hazelwood right now.
Bit of bat and pad on that one, I think. You're right, that'd be very difficult. But I think Abbott and Copeland are proving to be tough.
Well, they're hard enough. They're hard enough, but imagine all four of them. Mitchell Stark and Nathan Lyon would be pretty handy as well.
They would be. Nathan Lyon single-handedly keeping Australia in that test in Pakistan, or against Pakistan at the moment with his bowling on the first day. There's Many happy to duck that one. Sort of this time, the shortish ball probably not one you really want to be throwing around too much in your arsenal. Just keep him on line, keep him straight. What Copeland was doing in the previous over, forcing the batsman to play. In this situation, the batsman will always duck away from the short one. Oh, just again outside the outside edge. The New South Wales slips fieldsman, hands on heads, Peter Neville grimacing. Almost he might have got a touch on that, but no. It was close. But again, Many survives.
Look at Copeland in the slips. It's just magnificent bowling here from Abbott and Copeland. And but Many, the good thing about this is that he's putting that behind him, isn't he? He's played and missed a few times in this innings, but he seems to put it behind him and just keep going.
He has no choice, really, is there? There's might be runs again. It is to Many.
Well, it can fluster some players when they're playing and missing a bit. They can get completely flustered, but he just looks pretty calm out there, picking the right ball, and has now moved on to 7, and more importantly, has got South Australia now, John, within 8.1 overs of survival. So 45 overs is the key, and we're 49 balls away from safety.
Well, it's interesting. Many's actually faced the bulk of the last 2 overs. The first time we've seen Lehman face delivery in a couple of overs, and that's going to be runs to Lehman.
And that is clever batting. There was might have been 2 there, but if they really, really pushed, but Lehman said, no, I'll take the strike. He hit a single, so South Australia now 6 for 95.
So 8 overs required for SA to see through. 6 for 95. Lehman 29. Many 8. Lehman will take strike to Copeland. Bowling's been first rate from Trent Copeland and Sean Abbott, but just unable to break this stubborn partnership. And again, Lehman just pushing on the offside. No run there. Got a reasonable slips cordon building up now, Daniel. We've got about 4 slips in a gully.
Well, they've got to attack. Runs do not matter here. And you've got the man in form, Copeland, who's been magnificent in this match.
And again, Lehman leaving that one outside his off stump.
And what a record Copeland's got. He's took his 300th first-class wicket in this game at an incredible average of 26. I was a bit taken back by that. 300 first-class wickets at 26, if you don't mind.
It's a great average. It's a great number of wickets, too, from Copeland. You sort of don't think of him as being around as long as that to take 300, but he has been around a while now and certainly has been a fine bowler.
And, of course, played 3 test matches for Australia.
Yep.
Back in 2011. And that seems so long ago too, but I'll tell you what, you just cannot imagine the New South Wales selectors if they had them all available. It'd just be an impossible task.
Well, there'd be probably a good 2 or 3 very unlucky players missing out. Oh, this might be worth a shout, perhaps a tad high on Lehman. Certainly Copeland excited, but I just feel that was a bit high, that one.
Yeah, just going over the top and maybe missing leg, but certainly you'd say going over the top. I'll tell you what, though, it might be one of those ones where if there was a review involved, it might be one of those umpire call ones, do you think, John?
I would agree with that.
I think if the umpire's given that not out, yep, probably an umpire's call. If he'd given it out, well, umpire's call again and it would go New South Wales way. So no reviews, of course, if you're new to Sheffield Shield cricket, no reviews. But you never know. Perhaps one day they will bring in the review system in Sheffield Shield cricket as well.
It's a nice shot, pardon me, there from him, just pushing through the offside. They take the 1, and Lehman content with just the single. They'll be happy just to take 1s for the rest of the innings.
It's very good batting from Lehman. The recognised batsman out there, just taking a single off the 5th ball. So Manny just has to survive 1 ball and then Lehman's back on strike. So that's, very clever batting.
Exactly. And Manny does survive that delivery. So 38 overs bowled. 7 remain. Lehman 30, Manny 8, SA 6 for 96. As Abbott continues and leaving it outside the off stump there, Lehman. So now down to 41 balls. SA needs to survive. And Lehman letting this one go down the leg side too. And that's another dot ball. 40 balls left for SA to get through. Obviously the plan is just to leave anything wide of the stumps. In terms of making runs, that's not the issue. No hope of that. 157 runs being scored for victory. And there hasn't been much hope of that for most of this innings. But this pair of Lehman and Many seem to be in control. And Lehman happy to take a run this time as he pushes away through the covers up to 31. 6 for 97. He has faith in Many, no doubt about that. But now Many has 3 balls to survive. And another over will be done. And strikes Many on the pad, but well down the leg side. There's a 6 for 97. It's been a real rearguard action pretty much this entire final session, which will go for the full 45 overs.
Well, it was 5 for 41 in the 16th over, wasn't it? 5 for 41 after 15.3 overs. And since then, the Redbacks have only lost 1 wicket in the last 23 overs. So that's been the key, really. Not the runs, of course. And 15.3 overs, it was 5 for 41. And Cam Valente came in and played probably the best innings of his short Sheffield Shield career. He only made 24, but he batted time as well. And his partnership with Lehman just negated, well, around 11, 12 overs. And just gave the Redbacks that sense of hope. And then Many's come in and, well, he's batted a similar time frame, hasn't he?
He has, and he's made 8 runs and had some nervous moments, but he's surviving. And he clips that one off his toes. And there would be runs, but they won't take them. Will it go to the fence? It does.
Well, he deserved that. He's batted superbly, so he deserved that boundary, and that takes the Redbacks to 6 for 101.
And brings up the 100, Many to 12. I was just looking out there, the huge gap in the field. There's no one out there. They're all around the wicket. Batsman gets anything through, like on that occasion, Many did, and boundary will be the result. Not, as I said, not that the runs matter. 6 overs to survive now. It's amazing the way that is. So 6 overs to survive for SA. Copeland back into the attack. Will be bowling to Lehman. Just knocks this one down. As I said, Many with that boundary off the last ball. Just got through this close set field and away it went. But these two have done well. We've got Winter still to come at number 9. Chad Sayers at 10 and Pope on debut. And Lehman, real feather in his cap if he can see SA through here. He's done everything right, really, in the way he's played in this innings. He just kept losing batting partners.
And we spoke about it earlier, didn't we? Just a partnership or two. Valente was magnificent in that partnership, and now Many's done the same. And just, it's amazing how, you know, you can be in all sorts of bother at 5 for 41, but then you just get one partnership going, and it can just negate the whole momentum of the oppositions. And that's exactly what's happened here.
Exactly, and that's the way these games, they're funny, these matches when one team's really pushing for victory like New South Wales, another side like SA, desperately trying to hang in there and draw the contest, and it just goes in such sort of swings and roundabouts. SA survives, they hang in there, they form a bit of a partnership. New South Wales get over a wicket, all of a sudden game right back on again. Back to the bowler, Copeland. Lehman not letting anything through. And this is the 34th over of this session. 40 will be bowled in total after this over is completed. We had 6 before tea, still 5 to come after that.
He's going around. He's going over the wicket now. Is Copeland just to change the angle up a bit, get that ball slanting more towards the wicketkeeper and slips, and just give Lehman something different to think about.
Lehman clipped it nicely off his pads and he'll get runs here. Be content with just the single though, which will put him in the position of the non-striker. Then with 1 ball to go in the over.
I'll tell you what, that wasn't a bad ball. That was on middle stump, and he must be seeing it well because he played across the line then and hit it superbly onto the leg side. And once again, clever batting from Lehman. Continues to get a single late in the over. Normally around the 5th ball, isn't it, John?
Yep.
And so Joe Menny normally only has to face 1 ball, and it's just very smart batting. And it's magnificent bowling out there as well. It's very tough to bat now. Very overcast. The lights are on.
And Menny does what he needs to do, defends, and the over comes to an end. SA 6 for 102, Lehman 32, Menny 12. 5 overs to go. So Keefe being brought into the attack with 5 overs to bowl. He's been tight, none for 9 from his 6. Maybe thinking he might be able to get a bit of turn out there and worry the batsman. Copeland and Abbott have done a very good job, but they just can't break this determined 7th wicket partnership. As Lehman over the bat. And pops it uppishly up on the offside. They will take the single. And that exposes Menny to 5 balls of O'Keefe. But I think it's good to have that confidence in your partner too. It's smart for Lehman to try and take as much strike as he can. But I think it's good to have the confidence in your partner too. Because Menny's done all right, 12 off 37. He's done what he needs to do.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I actually think Menny's looked just as assured as Lehman out there, really. He's looked, I know he's played and missed a couple of times, but his defence, he's looked very assured. But to take a single off the first ball, perhaps it's actually a good thing, as you're saying there, because it actually gives Joe Menny more confidence. It's saying, I believe in you. We'll take the runs when they're there, and why not?
It shows good faith as O'Keefe to continue to Menny. He's doing everything right at the moment, Menny. watching and blocking all the good balls. 29 runs this partnership.
And that key number there is 79. 79 balls, this partnership.
That means he's very confident in what he's doing. 4 very strong defensive shots. And now just the 1 ball remaining. And he sees it out. So 41 overs have been bowled. 4 remain. Lehmann will now take strike. And SA doing all they have to do at the moment to survive this game. But do New South Wales have a trick up their sleeve? Perhaps another quick wicket. And it would be game on once again. Oh, down the leg side. Was there a touch on that? Copeland's very confident. The slips are very confident. Lehmann standing his ground. The most important man in this situation, the umpire, standing his ground. And not out is the call. As we just watched the replay. Oh, it was close. Copeland doing the old celebration. It's an interesting trick the bowlers do. They celebrate. They don't turn to the umpire and appeal. They celebrate, wanting to put that pressure on the umpire. But he was up to it and stood his ground. Reminds me of that famous test Australia lost here 25 years ago to the West Indies by 1 run. Courtney Walsh, similar situation with Craig McDermott, the Australian number 11. And Walsh didn't appeal. He ran off up the pitch, pumping his arms in celebration. Junior Murray ran towards him and embraced him, and the umpire, feeling the pressure, raised the finger.
As if it was so obvious that it was out. That's what the bowlers are trying to do
exactly.
there. Oh, it's so obvious it's out. I don't even have to turn around and appeal.
And that decision's still disputed to this day, whether it was out or not. And I think Copeland trying the same trick as he should on this occasion. Lehmann ducks under it. But that's just all a matter for the umpire of just holding his background and saying, no, I'm not going to be intimidated and I'm going to make the right call here and give the benefit of the doubt to the batsman. And he did it well on that occasion.
Were you there, John, in that famous 1992, 1993?
I was. I was square leg, actually.
I was actually there as well. There you go. So, almost 26 years ago, and the West Indies won by 1 run.
1 run. Yeah, it was agonising.
It was Justin Langer's debut test match as well.
He did all right, Justin Langer. He was the 9th wicket to fall that innings. And Tim May and Craig McDermott almost got it. I think they were about 40 down. They needed 40 to win when Langer got out. And those two almost got us there. And, yeah, I was square leg when the decision occurred. And agonising for Australia. It still hurts. That was that classic thing, that sort of just a little umpire con, which worked that time for the West Indies, but not on this occasion.
I reckon I was at mid-on, around there in the crowd, so there you go.
This one, and Lehmann on this occasion, making very much certain of it that he left it, holding the bat high, arms out the way. 5 balls down, and this is the 42nd over. 3 overs to go after this. And Lehmann knows what he has to do. And he's doing it very nicely. So 1 ball to go from Copeland. It's just defended down there to bat pad. No run. Another over survived. SA looking good. Still 3 overs to go though. 6 for 103 South Australia.
So 18 balls to survive here, South Australia. 18 balls. And you sense O'Keefe will bowl 12 of them.
Many strong in defence as we look at the field. Keeper up to the stumps, a couple of slips, a leg slip, bat pad, a couple of fieldsmen at silly mid-off. As many puts it almost between those two. None for 10 from O'Keefe. 16 balls now to survive for SA. Confidence booster too for, I guess, many in his batting. We know he can bat, but obviously primarily a bowler, but he survives a situation like this. It just boosts that confidence. He's doing it very nicely. Not at all troubled by O'Keefe, seeing out 4 deliveries so far. O'Keefe ripping through this over. Textbook stuff for many with defence.
We've got the roof climb going on at the moment at Adelaide Oval.
Nice time to be up there. We get to see what has been an exciting finish to this game as Many sees out the final ball of that over. 2 overs remaining. Lehman 33, Many 12, SA 6 for 103. 2 overs remain for SA to draw this game. So it'll be Copeland to begin the second to last over of SA's second innings. It'll be bowling to Lehman. He's just edging down the leg side. Lehman happy to prod it away. Mid-on comes around, does the fielding. And another ball survived. They seem to have it in hand, the Redbacks. Many Daniel is playing very well against the spin of O'Keefe, and Lehman is surviving the online bowling of Copeland.
You got a feeling Lehman might decide to just completely shut up shop here. He might decide he'll take this whole over and let Many face the last over. He might just say, I'll see off this one, and Joe, you see off the other one at the other end, and that'll be it.
And well,
in fact, really, if Lehman can negate these 5 balls, it'd mean New South Wales would need 4 wickets in the final over. So crucial 5 balls here. Just get through these, and really, the Redbacks are all but home.
This is the crucial part. I mean, Copeland was coming in, Lehman pulled away, more movement in the slips. Lehman now just making sure everything's perfect. Because you're right, this is the over. If they can see this out, they're halfway there, you feel. There's a short one, not probably needed in these circumstances, though Lehman happy to duck under it. 8 balls for SA to survive.
And who said draws aren't exciting?
Well,
they're not there yet, but tell you what, we've seen a couple of exciting draws in the last week or two, haven't we? Over in Dubai with Australia. Tim Payne and Nathan Lyon. And now we're seeing a very exciting finish here in the first round of the JLT Sheffield Shield.
As Lehman watchfully lets this one go through to the keeper.
And this will be frustrating for New South Wales because they were all over the Redbacks earlier today. South Australia were 5 for 41 in the 16th over, having to survive 45 overs. And this man Lehman has been, well, he's been magnificent really. 33 from 123 balls. But I reckon it was Valente's innings, wasn't it? Who just calmed things down when he came in, negated 11 or 12 overs and really took the pressure off.
Was Lehman pushing down on the onside. No run. No bother for SA. Yeah, Valente was great because he played his natural game despite the circumstances and made quite a nice little total of 24. Got out in the end and yeah, there was still plenty of time for New South Wales wicket-wise, but just the way Valente went about things, which was impressive from the young man. And
he just calmed things down, didn't he? That little partnership just calmed the game down for South Australia. Probably the only mistake he made was when he got out. He looked pretty good besides that.
Lehman doing this easily now. Was one ball to survive for this over, and then the final over to come from O'Keefe to Many. But it looks like SA will get there. Hasn't been their greatest performance this first up game. They did manage to take the lead on the first innings. But apart from that, New South Wales have been quite dominant. As Lehman just knocks this one down off his pads, perhaps looking for a single off the last ball. It wasn't there, but he survives. And that will be Many to face what will be the final over of the day. 44 overs bowled. Lehman 33, Many 12. Now, interesting to see if they do persist with O'Keefe. It looks like they will be. There's no real point bringing someone on now. But 6 balls to go. As I said, 6 balls to go, but 4 wickets New South Wales need. Unlikely them getting 4 wickets in an over.
You're perhaps surprised Moses Enriques hasn't been used for perhaps 1 or 2 overs.
Yeah, I thought they would have perhaps mixed it up a little bit. I mean,
Edwards
obviously
as well.
Abbott and Copeland have bowled extremely well. We saw a little bit of Sams, quite a bit of O'Keefe. But yeah, I'm sort of surprised that we haven't seen more of Enriques.
Or Edwards as well. Maybe just 1 over from each of them.
Looks like actually they are going to make a change and bring Abbott on for the final over. So I thought they might stick with O'Keefe, but Abbott ready to go for this last over. You say he's been the pick of the bowler, certainly the best figures of 3 for 29. So this will make things interesting, but I think Many is up to the task.
It would actually be interesting to see if they actually bowl out the over if no wickets fall. Whether they just call stumps or they just bowl out the 6 balls.
Well, I think they'll be egging them on to bowl the full 6 balls. Here we go. Many, almost a chance. First ball, diving away in the gully on the bounce.
Well, that's one of them negated. 5 to go, and that was a little bit of luck that the Redbacks have had.
Just playing it, pushing it uppishly. A bouncing ball. And he survives.
Well, now that would have made things interesting. With Lehman stuck at the other end.
New man at the wicket.
That would have made it interesting.
Right on line from Abbott, but a textbook defensive stroke from Many. 4 balls now for SA to survive. Out is they really survived this one. They could get wickets on the next 3 balls and still draw the game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. After this ball, will New South Wales, will Peter Neville shake Lehman's hand after this ball? That's what I'm saying before.
If he survives, they might. If there's a wicket, obviously they won't. But, yeah, we'll see. Many survives. No, they're going to stay out there. You never know. Or are they? No, perhaps they are going to call it time.
There you go. As I thought, they're going to call it.
They're going to take the idea that 3 balls to go, 4 wickets needed. New South Wales can't win. And that in this situation, no one would be silly enough to run on a no ball or anything like that. So there we go. That is it. SA surviving 44.3 overs and have survived. The game is drawn. SA finishing at 6 for 103. Lehman 33. Many 12. And SA survive. And also, of course, take more points out of this game because of their first innings lead. Abbott 3 for 29. Copeland 3 for 45. The wicket takers for New South Wales. O'Keefe finished with none for 10. Sams none for 17. Didn't use Edwards or Enriques, which perhaps was a bit surprising, but they stuck with the 4 bowlers, and that's the way it stayed. Just looking at the replay of the wickets there for South Australia, it was worrying times early as you see the first couple of wickets before tea with Weatherald and Ferguson in the sheds. That was the first ball after tea, and the end of McInerney. And then